Hi, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and Light. Well, friends, how do we start our videos? We always start with a story because I love telling stories and I'm sure you love listening to stories. But before we go to the story, can I make an earnest request with you? If you have still not subscribed to our channel Transform Life Programs, can you please click the bell icon and subscribe to our channel? If you've already done so, thank you. We are very pleased and would be really appreciative to have you as our esteemed subscriber. Now, the story. There is a lodge in a small town, and the lodge has not been doing great business. And on one fine day, there is a customer, a supposed customer who comes there. And he says, I would like to stay for 2 nights. And the manager, the lodge owner, whoever is at the desk, says, sure, sir. And then he says, but I would like to see the rooms before I give you my word that I will stay here. Fair enough. But the manager has a condition. He says, but you have to pay me an advance of 1,000 rupees. I will then show you the rooms. If I don't like what happens, I will return the 1,000 rupees to you. So the customer, supposed customer, pays 2 currency notes of 500 each, 1,000 rupees, as an advance to see the rooms. And he asks the bellboy to show him around. As soon as the customer turns his back, the manager calls the housekeeping lady and says, I'm so sorry, I couldn't pay your salary last month because the business was so low. Please accept my apologies and your salary. So she accepts the 1,000 rupees with gratitude, and happily she goes to the canteen and tells the person running the canteen, brother, thank you so much for giving me food on credit. Otherwise, I would have probably starved and fallen sick. Thank you so much. Here is the 1,000 rupees which I owe you. And she thanks him profusely and goes on her way. And the canteen guy immediately calls to the milk vendor. The milk vendor comes, he's close by, he comes and he says, thank you so much for offering me to supply milk on credit. There was no business, nobody had paid me. Had you not given me this credit, it would have been very difficult for me to survive. And with thanks, he gives the 1,000 rupees to the milk vendor. The milk vendor thanks him, and he in turn goes to the veterinary doctor who lives 2 blocks away from the lodge and says, thank you, sir, for treating my cows in the past 2 weeks. Or the cows would probably have died, and I did not have money to pay you at that time, but now I'm clearing my dues. And the veterinary doctor accepts it and comes to the lodge and says to the lodge manager, thank you so much for letting me stay, though I was short of 1,000 rupees in clearing my dues. Here it is, I'm clearing my dues. And he pays him back the 1,000 rupees. By then the customer comes back and he says he is not happy with the rooms. And he says, I wouldn't want to stay here. Can I have my money back? And the manager says, here is your money, and gives it. Now here what happened? It is a beautiful cycle, right? The same money was going and making rounds with all these people. The lodge manager, the housekeeper, the canteen guy, the milk vendor, the veterinarian, all of them were able to clear their dues and heave that sigh of relief. And the customer got his money back. When this piece of paper, which actually doesn't have life or emotions, can create this gratitude and happiness in people, what are we doing? You and I both. So let me tell you a bit about the hormone that could have been released when these people got the money and cleared their dues. So they could have felt dopamine, which is a pleasure hormone, feeling good. So yes, probably that is what they felt. So before that, maybe they felt stress. What if I cannot pay the dues? What if they do not allow me credit anymore? Cortisol, the stress hormone, which is absolutely not good for us. And did they feel anger also when they were not paid? Did they feel anger also? Adrenaline. Did they feel pain at their failure? Endorphin. So the four major hormones which rules our emotions. And dopamine is the best because it is the happy hormone. So did all of them feel happy hormone? And everybody finished their dues. So now, what hormone are we circulating? Is my question. Are we circulating dopamine, cortisol, adrenaline, or endorphin? The media is bent on supplying cortisol and adrenaline. There's nothing but news about death and fear and everything. And this releases, along with cortisol and adrenaline, endorphin, which makes us feel stressed. When this happens, friends, nothing can save us. Well, there is a lot being said about apocalypse. I have been reading a lot about the prophecies, right from Nostradamus, the latest being Sylvia Browne, that I have been impressed with. So all of this have been predicting the doomsday or the end of the world. 2012 was supposed to be end of the world. The reason being, that's where the Mayan calendar ends. After that, there is no life. That's where it ended. See, if I can't see the road ahead, that doesn't mean there's no road ahead. So if we buy into all this, definitely that is going to become our reality. The world might end or not, but my world ends when I believe so. Let me tell you another fact, friends. Our body and mind is so strong, so very strong. It's an involuntary function that we keep breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Even as I'm talking to you, I am breathing. Even as you're looking at the video and listening to me, you're breathing. Am I right? So the body puts up a very big fight to keep breathing. Let me give you an example. When a person is executed by hanging, or when a person hangs himself for whatever unfortunate reason, the body still tries to flare up the nostrils and take a breath. And if that is not possible, because the canal here is closed, it tries to draw air from the ears. It tries to draw from the mouth, from the eyes. That is where the tongue lolls out. That is where the capillaries in the eyes burst. I know it's not a good example that I'm giving. I'm just trying to make a point. If that is not possible, whatever orifice in the body, even the genital openings stretch to take a breath of air. Even in a comatose state, the body keeps breathing. That is the capacity our body has. When we do not interfere in putting in these hormones which are not good for us, the endorphin, the cortisol, and the adrenaline. As long as we do not pump these hormones and just keep pumping in dopamine at regular intervals at the safe level, then our body recovers. I can give you one more example. When there is a slaughter of a meat happening, especially in the practice of halal meat, they make the animal drink a little water and say a prayer calming the animal. Because when the animal gets to know that it is going to be slaughtered, it releases a fear hormone. It releases a lot of adrenaline, which is not good for the one who consumes the meat later. So traditionally, the animal is calmed down by giving it a sip of water, or if the animal refuses to drink, by sprinkling it with water, and then the Bismillah is done. So when so much care is taken about the meat we eat, what care are we taking about our body? What are we feeding our body? Fear or hope? I always talk about the two bulls. I've spoken about it in my previous videos also. We always have two bulls. One is hope, the other is fear. One is doubt, the other is faith. So which bull are you feeding? We can't feed both the bulls equally. Which bull you feed becomes stronger. The one you don't feed becomes weaker. So which bull are you feeding? If you're feeding fear and doubt, starve that bull and start feeding hope and faith and see the change. Definitely, nothing is going to happen if we believe that we are going to survive this. If we believe that we are going to surf this wave and reach the shore safely. So let us stop reacting in words or emotions or hormones to all the negative information that is spread. Let us stop allowing the media to mold our opinions. Let us say no to all of that. Yes, it's all happening, but what you focus on expands. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on hope? So, can we start focusing on a prayer? It could be a simple thank you prayer. It could be Ho'oponopono. Just have one thing. Like this currency note, can we make it a habit to make at least 3 people happy in a day? Give them one nice thing to do. If someone is sick, call them up and say, hey, it's okay, I care. Even that releases antibodies for them. If they are feeling very scared because their family has gone into illness, tell them it's okay, they will come back safe. If they are going through a financial crunch, tell them it's okay, you will do it, you will get through it. This too shall pass. So it can be anything. If somebody is very sick, unable to cook, can we send them food? If somebody is going through something, can we lend them patient hearing without judgment? One nice thing to 3 people, or 3 different nice things to 3 different people. If we can do that, your dopamine levels keep going up. The person who's receiving their dopamine levels go up. And if we can make this viral instead of all the nonsense messages we are making viral, definitely things will go for a change. Definitely things are going to go for a tremendous positive change. So can we do that? By passing on 3 happy messages every day and making those happy messages viral. Messages of hope, faith, support, love and laughter. Thank you so much for joining me. Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.